I had like kind of had the captain's hat on because someone had to write an outline, so we'd all be telling the same story, and that job was mine, which was fun. It was something different I'd never done before. So they came to me with a premise and said, "You want to be part of a team to write a book?" And I had never done anything that was a team, anything collaborative. So I wanted to try it, and it was a good experience.
Cool. How did you come up with the spirit animals, like the different ones that they...
The first 4 were animals they wanted. The 4 main animals, right?
Yeah.
The panda, the leopard, the wolf, and the falcon. But I created the idea of having great beasts, and that these 4 used to be great beasts, and that we had 15 great beasts. So I made up the great beasts, made up all the other spirit animals you meet in the book, and the different partnerships. Part of what we were trying to do was to create a variety of relationships in the story, right? So each kid's relationship with their spirit animal is pretty different. You have like Connor and his wolf, where they're both pretty like stalwart guys. You know what I mean? Like they're actually a pretty good match because the wolf's kind of a leader, and Connor's doesn't feel like a leader, but he's got a good heart. He tries to do what's right, which is a good attribute for a leader. Then you got Roland, who's like way more independent, and he's way more like skeptical of people. He's slow to trust.
Yeah.
But his falcon is also slow to trust, and so that thing that they have in common kind of keeps them apart. Throughout the book, I was trying to find relationships that would hopefully be interesting like that.
Cool. Do you listen to music while you write?
Sometimes. There are certain moods where music distracts me, and there are certain moods where music is key. It kind of like helps me get focused. When I listen to music, it tends to be music I'm familiar with, like music I know really well. Because if I listen to music that I haven't heard a whole lot, then I'll just sit there and listen to the music.
Yeah.
But if it's nice and familiar, then it becomes background noise, and I can write.
How do you decide how many books will be in a series?
That happens for me in the early stages. Well, or Scholastic tells me. Like with Spirit Animals, they had a plan for 7 books, so I just had to make up 7 books, 7 stories. But for my 5 Kingdoms book, that one I just daydreamed about it until I kind of saw it like a movie in my mind. This is how I do most of my series. And then I kind of broke it up and tried to see, how many books would it take to tell this big story. With 5 Kingdoms, there's these 5 different kingdoms that the characters have to kind of survive or go to, and each one's really different from the next. Like, they have different magic that work there.
Yeah.
So if you got an awesome magic sword in one of these 5 kingdoms, you go to the next one and it might not work anymore, right? And so it just seemed like a natural fit to create an adventure in each of these kingdoms and then have one book focus on each kingdom. And so 5 kingdoms, 5 books, it just kind of seemed like a fit.
Wait, so it's 5 books?
It'll be 5 books, 5 kingdoms.
Oh.
That'll be my first 5-book series since Fable hit. But Spirit Animals is 7, right? Spirit Animals is 7.
What would your spirit animal be?
Probably, if I was thinking practically, like a tiger or something, right? So that if I had to get in trouble, like it could help me. As far as personality, maybe like a dolphin would be a good fit. You know what I mean? 'Cause I'm kind of goofy. But yeah, dolphins are kind of goofy, kind of smart to me.
What is your favorite book series that you haven't written?
Yeah, favorite book series. Man, one of the great ones is Harry Potter. I love Harry Potter. I also love Lord of the Rings. Those are a couple.
Cool. Do you prefer standalones or series?
I prefer series only because when I get into it and I like it, I just want it to keep going. You know what I mean? Like once I get to love those characters and I get interested in the story, I want as much as they'll give me.
Yeah. What is your favorite genre? Is it fantasy?
You have guessed it. Yeah, for some reason, I don't know why, but that is what I like to daydream about. It's what I most like to read. For me, fantasy just has the special sauce. In my head, to cope with reality, I escape from fantasy by daydreaming. You know what I mean? Like, or I escape from reality by daydreaming about fantasy stuff, and then I shared all that crazy stuff with other people.
Where do you get inspiration?
I kind of get it everywhere. I always get inspired when I just read something cool. When I was a kid and I read The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, that's what started me daydreaming about fantasy, because I wanted that to happen to me. I was like, wait a minute. And these kids go through a wardrobe, and they fight monsters, and they become king of some world, and I was like, I want all those things to happen. And so when it did not happen in real life, I daydreamed about it like crazy.
If you could choose any mode of transportation, like made up or real, what would you choose?
Jetpack would be good.
Superpower?
If they had all the bugs worked out, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Superpower?
Yeah.
Healing
No.
myself and others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any upcoming projects you're excited about?
Yes. Well, I mean, I'll tell you two things. A, Five Kingdoms just started.
Yeah.
So the most upcoming thing is continuing that series. I feel like it's my best book one in a long time. The book one of Five Kingdoms might be my best book one period. It's got a really good pace. It starts off kind of scary. I think it'll suck readers in. So I'm excited to write more of those. And then I will have a sequel series to my Fablehaven books that will begin in 2016. And that's my next big project on the horizon.
So have you written, how many of the books have you written so far, like the Skyriders ones?
I'm just finishing book 2. I was just in Topher's backyard finishing the last chapter, working on it. So we're close.
Do you like plan ahead and
Yes. I
lay
plan
it
way
out?
ahead. I daydream about it till I see it like a big movie in my head. So I know like all the Five Kingdoms we're going to. I know some of the main stuff that'll happen there. And that kind of lets me feel confident about the series. Feel confident that I know where I'm going, that I'm setting up cool things. I feel like I am. Pretty sure I am. I sure hope readers agree. We'll see, you know.
Do you ever just start writing and keep going, or do you always outline?
I tend to plan. I'm a big planner. But within the plan, then I make up stuff. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I leave lots of room for myself to make up stuff. And I'm like, and then something cool will happen, and then something cool will happen. You know what I mean? Sometimes I don't know all the details, but then we'll get to this thing that I know for sure will happen. You know what I mean? And so there's always a lot of stuff for me to make up.
Cool.
So that lets me if I knew every detail, it might get pretty boring, but I don't know
Yeah.
every detail. I'm always discovering cool details and little funny moments or scary moments or whatever.
That's about it.
That's about it. That was a good round of questions, man. Good job.
Thank you.
And I'm glad if you like spirit animals.
Yeah. Can't wait to read Skyriders.
Yeah. I hope you dig it, dude. I think you'll like that one a lot. If you haven't tried some of my other stuff, Skyriders is a great place to start. See what you think. That'll be like spirit animals is fun, but Skyriders will be like a little bit like more like the real Brandon Mull deal, where you get a little longer story, a little grander story. Hopefully smart and fun. Knock on table.
Xander, you and I, after you're done reading it, we're going to talk about how we might be able to turn that into a camp.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Otherwise that might be
This
kind of
this chair,
Yeah.
Does it smell like?
it smells like President Carter.
Yeah.
Really?
I'm just kidding.
This chair smells presidential.
Yeah, what's it's very authoritative musk.
He should have brought his own
There's a lot of jokes
chair.
that can come out of that. So
Yeah. That's right.
Are we done?